Is underwritten with a generous support of Colin Morton DDS, focusing on progressive dentistry for exceptional natural-looking results. Experience the knowledgeable, skilled care of Dr. Morton and staff as they bring your smile to its beautiful best. Colin Morton DDS, progressive dentistry for generations.
Anyway, I'm Donna Frank with Her Look, and I'm here with one of my, sometimes you say good friend because it's the thing to say, or my friend, but I can honestly say that this is one of my bestest, goodest friends, Benita Zahn. You know her from Channel 13, Stage and Screen, No Lie, from every hospital you've ever walked in and out of. I call her a doctor because she is not only a PhD, but she's my doctor. Like if I have a problem, like many people, we go to Benita.
And what do I say? You've got the 3-day rule, right? Rule. If it doesn't get better in 3 days, if it's not, a crisis situation, give it a couple days. But 3 days, you call that doctor. The one who wears the white coat with the stethoscope.
Yes, that guy. Yeah. Do you think that women, because this is a show about women, do you think that as a woman, or that women in general, tend to put themselves last when it comes to preventive care?
It's an interesting question, Donna, because women access health care much more than men do.
Really?
Yeah, but it may not always be for themselves.
Gotcha.
They may be accessing it for their children, for their parents, for their spouses, and other loved ones. But women are much more likely to reach out to access health care.
Yeah, well, that's interesting, and yet
But understand, that's different than taking care of yourself.
Well, so what do you think?
And a lot of women don't.
And in what ways should we take care of ourselves?
I think we need to look at our sleep. I think we need to look at our diet, and we need to look at exercise. Look, you and I both know a lot of women who make no time for exercise.
Yeah.
And you're not setting a good example for your children if you have children.
Okay, back to the beginning. We talked about you came from Long Island area, you went to college upstate.
At Oswego.
At Oswego, and you were basically, hadn't really even been in the business as long, obviously, as you, and you were making a name for yourself. What about that time do you miss?
The simplicity of it, the hopefulness of it. I think every year, as we age, normally, we become more jaded. But as a society, we have become more jaded. And our ability to find the wonderment in the world has become muted.
It's funny you should say that, because when I think of you from back then to now, and I look at you, not just as our casual friend having dinner, but when I watch you in, crowds or on TV, I don't notice I notice you're even more excited about things, more excited about life, more involved, and more optimistic. It seems like you are hopeful to me, and that gives me hope.
Well, thank you.
And you have a pretty great husband.
Yeah,
because you really do. Because he's there. Every time I'm at a gig of yours or a play or something you're doing, he's there.
I want to jump in. A lot of women will say, "Oh, my husband's great. He lets me do this." I hate that phrase. It's not about a letting. I'm not their possession. That's not what goes on in a marriage, in a healthy relationship. He respects what I do. He supports me in my endeavors as I respect and support him. But please, think about the words you use.
So let me go back for a second. On a little more serious note, when you say women should take care of themselves and women should, be proud of who they are, and there's a lot of things that we would like to do, and some of us do. There's an issue going around now, and it's pretty serious. It's harassment in the workplace. It's women, mostly. It's sexual. But many times it's not.
Right.
Many times it's verbal.
Sure, it's just to make you feel less than.
Exactly. I, as a person who knows a lot of people, have been approached several times in conversations about, from women who are local. They don't have big personalities and PR agencies and newspapers at their fingertips, but they're in really uncomfortable situations. What would you tell them?
You have to speak up. You must speak up, because otherwise it will continue. And you also have to be aware, right now, if you get fired for speaking up, call a lawyer. And a lawyer, I don't want to speak for lawyers, but they'll probably take that case.
Now.
Right. You know, it's very, proving sexual harassment has been difficult through the years. Proving ageism has been difficult through the years. It's a different time right now. And I don't know how long the window will stay open.
Right.
For really standing up. And if somebody is abusing you, you need to look them in the eye and say, stop. This doesn't fly.
What if somebody is abusing someone that you work with? Just like I asked some high school girls about this exact thing. If they see friends that are being bullied or abused,
you have to
speak
stand up. You have to. And there can be ramifications. But there are ramifications if you don't.
I think that's really important to say.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I had a situation once that was very uncomfortable, and I said to this person, and understand I've worked in many places, so don't be deciding where it happened. And I said, what makes you think you can talk to me like that? That's not appropriate. I was in tears. I was so angry.
Did you let it happen a few times before?
Yeah, I thought, okay, this person's just not getting it. They think they're being funny. By about the third pass, and it was so uncomfortable, I said, what makes you think you can talk to me like this? I don't hear you talking to this person that way. And it wasn't between us. I closed the door, and that was it. I don't think they realized what they were doing. I think sometimes people think, well, you're fun, and you're my buddy, and I can kid around. No. If it's making you feel uncomfortable, if it's making you feel less than, if it's making you feel fearful, you have to speak up.
And if you speak up and nothing changes,
go to a manager.
Go to a manager, go to HR,
right.
Go to a supervisor.
Yeah.
There's always somebody that
yes.
you can talk to. And I think it's important to really, you know, to really say that, talk about that.
And like I said, don't try to assume where this happened. I've worked a lot of places.
Yeah, and it was years and years and years ago.
Yeah, actually it was.
Yeah. Well, I think that if we dig deep down, sometimes deep, sometimes not so deep. Sadly, most of us have I've had situations like that too. You know, and you overlook it and you excuse it, and
sure.
you know, you're nervous about your job, you're nervous about losing a job, you're nervous about, you know, the culture changing for you,
right.
and even about that person talking to other people about you and making you kind of squeezing you out. So I think it's important. And you know, I think, and I'm not going to put you on the spot, but you know, write letters to write letters to people. Let your outlet be your doctor.
And sometimes talk, yes, definitely. And sometimes talk with others. You know, if you feel that you're being singled out for language that's inappropriate or gestures that are talk to other women in your workplace. Mm-hmm. Talk to other men. You may find that you have a number of people who you're working with who feel the same way, and there's strength in numbers.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about social media.
Sure.
All right, because we're all on it.
Good, bad, the ugly, and all that.
Net neutrality.
Worries me.
Why?
It really worries me because I don't, this is Benita, the person speaking, I don't always trust big business to do what's right for the little person and not what's best for their pocketbook. Mm. And that worries me, especially when you look at, we were talking before we started the official part of the interview, you know, younger people than us, and even I'm moving there now, is we don't watch over-the-air TV, you know, over-the-air in the sense, you know, the basic stations, you know, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, you know, those being the big ones. I know I'm missing something else. So that all comes over the internet. And so now I'm paying, what, $9.99, I think, for my Netflix. Mm. So you're going to bump this up to $20 now because I want to see House of Cards? So net neutrality troubles me. What else? What else you want to know?
I want to know what about your relationship with your husband do you love the most?
You see, I'll start smiling. Yeah, that's like Sophie's Choice, you know?
I know, I tricked her.
I like, what I love is that we can just be.
Yeah, he's a good person to just
one
be
day,
with.
and we don't fight. One day he was getting a little bristling, and I looked at him and I went, as advertised. And he laughed, and that was it. So every once in a while we'd joke, I go, remember when I was such an idiot about that? But you know, you're human beings. You're not always going to agree on everything, but be respectful.
I think respect, I've said many times, is even more important than love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Bob.
Thank you.
And what I love about Bob is that he is very secure.
Yes.
And he is very, you know, he's supportive. And like you said, which I agree, it's not let you. But
It's like your hubs.
It's like my hubs, yeah. It's not about letting you, but it's about,
Right.
it is about supporting you.
Yes.
Because there are some.
And respect.
And I
Goes back
love
to the
that about
respect.
him. He just loves to see you shine.
Right.
And you're so.
That's what a good spouse should do.
And whether you run or whether you like to cook or whatever it is in a relationship, I think it's important, don't you, that men and women respect each other.
Men and men, women and women.
I was just going to say men and men, yeah, and also even try to engage
People.
in what the other person likes. People.
People.
Okay.
Let's.
People.
She's
Go
going to
ahead,
want
come
to
on.
get me. No.
People
No.
who need people.
That would be all of us. What else you want to know? And then I got to go to work.
All right, go to work. All right. I just want to
been
know
a
a couple
pleasure.
quick.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
What's my favorite food? I don't have one. I like, I don't eat, let's put it this way, I don't eat red meat. If it walks, I don't eat it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just love to experiment. My latest dish I'm really loving is I make this Ethiopian red lentil stew, and you have to make, I'll mispronounce the spice blend, but you mix it up, and it's fabulous. And my neighbor across the street who also eats no meat, I gave it to her, she says, now I make it every week. So that kind of stuff. What else?
Favorite place to vacation?
It's torn between New York City, the Cape, and Florence.
Ooh, Florence.
Firenze.
Do you have a favorite TV show?
No.
If you were not a news anchor, and if you were not an actor or singer, by the way, I just want to throw this in. Actor, singer, comedian, you've tried it all, and it have inspired me, by the way, to try it all. You really have.
You have to. Like,
you really have.
You know, it's a buffet.
If you couldn't be any of those things, is there something that you would like to do?
That I haven't already done?
Well, and that makes it very narrow.
Because I
you've
love
done a lot.
teaching. I love
Okay.
interacting. I've taught on the college level. None of the things I said, either teaching or I go back to my roots in science.
Okay, and you're good at that, since you do have your PhD, which you got while you were singing, while you were anchoring, while you had a show on PBS, while you were on stage rehearsing for a play, while you.
I had help cleaning the house in those
Thank
days.
God, but I admire you so much, and I want people to know that. You really can.
One more, you get
have
one
it
more
all.
question.
My last
I don't,
question.
You can't have it all.
Listen,
Something goes. Something goes.
it's
Listen
funny
to me.
because we had an interview.
Something goes.
Yeah, you're
you
right.
never have it all.
This is my last question, and it's a kind of a cliche question, but because you're a journalist and you've been all over the world, I want to know if you could have dinner, you know, that question, with someone famous, dead or alive, whoever it is, spend an hour with them. Who do you know off the top of your head? Who would it be?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Ah.
I would also like Albert Einstein. And,
It's a dinner party now, of course.
Of course it's got to be a party.
Of course.
Gandhi. Those three would be great to sit down with.
Well, I want you to know how great it's been for me.
And I always like having dinner
to
with
sit
you.
down with you. Oh, I love having dinner with you. A little trivia too, right? That
Right,
was always
yes,
fun.
we're good.
So we're with Benita, and where are we? We are at
Beverly's
Beverly's Eatery
Eatery.
in Ballston Spa. Michael fed us this morning fantastic food.
A lot of veggies. It was great.
A lot of veggies, a lot of yogurt, fresh fruit, all kinds of stuff. And
My
try
kind of
it.
eats.
My kind of eats too. But you're my kind of dish.
Thanks, son.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.
Her Look is underwritten with the generous support of Divorce Mediation Center, LLC. Mediation is less expensive, confidential, and much less intimidating than going to court. At DMC, helping couples to make their own decisions with results that are less stressful for the children of the marriage is our goal. Divorce Mediation Center, LLC, approved by the American Bar Association.